Right, thanks. So thank you very much for the opportunity to address you. We are pleased, of course, to receive new information connected with this tree strategy, the strategy's latest installment, the canopy mapping, and the tree equity analysis. There are several items that we're pleased to see in particular. First, we applaud taking account of equity in upcoming planting. The numerous benefits of trees, including for human health, are well known, as is the correlation between, for example, low incomes in neighborhoods and low tree cover. We're also pleased to see Milwaukee forests in the new strategy. This forestry approach has huge potential to accelerate forest growth, including in urban areas. Finally, we're pleased to see mention of, quoting, an upcoming assessment of ecosystem services, including carbon sequestration, in conjunction with a forest resource inventory project, as mentioned in the GHG inventory elsewhere on this agenda. This will help us account for trees' value in our city. The City of Toronto, for example, calculated that its urban forest contributes over $55 million annually in ecosystem services. We do have several concerns with the strategy and the associated memos, however. To begin with, we seem to be missing a lot of data. I'll begin with inventory issues. The report observes that, quote, on average, Forestry Services plants 88,000 trees each year through a variety of planting programs. The report only accounts for about 2,000 of these. So where are the other 86,000 trees going, and via what programs? And how has this number varied over the years? We know that planting was delayed for several months after the derecho in 2022. So how many trees fewer were planted then, for example? The inventory also describes overall canopy decline in the urban area, but we're missing some basic information here too. So if we're planting 88,000 trees per year, how many are we losing? What are the causes of this loss? The canopy memo also promises that, quote, members of council will also receive ward-specific information sheets summarizing tree canopy data. Will this information also be released to the public? If not, why not? These are all basic issues, we think, surrounding the tree canopy, and can't really think of any reason why to withhold them. Moving on to the tree planting strategy. So the latest installment asserts that, quote, the goal is to increase canopy cover in the priority areas. But by how much? And by what time? Furthermore, the plan is to, quote, scale up tree planting. Again, how much? Over what time? Then there's the tree equity analysis. We have scores for 8 priority and short-term action areas. Great. But why not share the data for all 201 neighborhoods? I'm also curious what the basis for distinguishing between short-term action areas and priority areas are. So a lot of data missing. And this isn't just a question of transparency. It's also about how you make decisions and approve proposed actions. So we urge you to ask for this information. There's another strange aspect of the equity analysis. The canopy goals were, quote, adjusted for building density to account for plantable space. In other words, we seem to be lowering our targets where there are more buildings. But this seems backwards. If there are more buildings, there are more people, and thus greater need for trees. So why lower the target? Finally, our perennial objection to the tree planting strategy, we're moving too slowly. We know that climate change will increase extreme weather, which will in turn threaten our tree canopy. Again, after the derecho in 2022, Forestry Services couldn't plant trees for months because it was cleaning up downed trees. We need to aim for better than 40% canopy coverage to achieve this goal. And currently, our canopy is actually declining. Extreme weather also means we will need more trees, whether to cool neighborhoods, absorb storm water, strengthen the ecosystem, everything that you know already. But it takes decades for trees to realize their ecosystem benefits. We need to treat the climate and biodiversity emergencies with urgency. The solutions are clear. Briefly, first, involve the community. The report acknowledges that, quote, there are many community and environmental organizations, groups, and individual residents with a keen interest, passion, and knowledge about the urban forests. You all know this is true. Ottawans want to help, and they can do so cheaply, quickly, and flexibly. For starters, the proposed, quote, focus engagement session with local tree and urban forest related community groups and organizations should be a working group that meets regularly. Finally, invest. The last urban forest management update cited a lack of resources multiple times as a cause for slowness. Budget 2026 is being developed at this moment. Trees offer a massive return on investment. Why aren't we reaping this opportunity? Thank you.